Well, back in the late 1930s, my grandfather rented one of the cottages on the property here, and my mother was just a young girl at that point in time, and she decided she was going to live in the lighthouse someday. And lo and behold, it came up for sale in 1966, and they heard about it and drove up and bought the lighthouse. And now that's brought us here 55 years later together.
Russell's father brought to us the idea that maybe you should live in the lighthouse. Little did we know how much we had to do once we had a contractor.
So the architect, Renshaw, as we looked at the left-hand side of the house, the former owner had put 4 separate additions on. It was hodgepodge and of no value. So Renshaw had us take it all down and changed it into a 2-story, 34-foot that gave us a modern family room, modern kitchen, and a modern master bath. But yet, when you look at the house, you can't tell where the addition is because Renshaw knew how to blend everything together. So we always wanted to light the house, but we're always told we couldn't. And then lo and behold, this guy named Dave comes up and knocks on the door and says, "I think I can help you light the house." So we said, absolutely, we would love to do that. So he got the application and he knew the ins and outs, and he really did everything and walked us through it.
If you have a building near the water that looks like a lighthouse or was a lighted lighthouse, you just can't put a light in it. It's regulated by the Coast Guard. So they have a process for people who privately now own lighthouses. Anywhere in the country that you have this lighthouse, you can apply to the Coast Guard and they'll consider putting a light back in the lighthouse. And that's what happened here at Poplar Point. So we told them, we have this historic property, we being the Shippees, have this historic property. Can we put a light back in the lighthouse? And they said yes, surprisingly, after only 2 weeks. When the Shippees applied to the Coast Guard to put the light back in the tower, they requested that the light be constant on, a fixed light, so it would always be on. The Coast Guard, in their response to the application, said, "We're sorry, we can't allow a fixed light at the location. However, if you'd like to put a flashing light in the lighthouse, we'll allow you to do that." Primarily because there are so many lights now in the neighborhood that are fixed and constantly on, like street lights or even electric boat, that you wouldn't be able to tell that this was something special. So to have it flashing makes it different than any other light that's on at night in Wickford Harbor.
Wickford is sort of an anachronism. People look at it that way. And when you think about Wickford, it really is. It is really a great representation of what things were like 200 years ago. Perhaps the best one in the state of Rhode Island. When this light was relit, things were a lot better in Wickford Village. People felt at ease knowing that this was a part of Wickford's history and it was shining again.